Hey, it's B-Rad Celebrity Hairstylist here, your host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast, a platform that allows the voices of the beauty industry to empower with the spoken word. Thank you for joining us on today's show. We're currently on 50 plus podcast platforms, including Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. All thanks to you. So welcome to today's episode of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. Today's guest, the founder of Serene Flow, Anne-Marie, was born and raised in Sweden by a Polish mother and a Swedish father. At an early age, she started to explore the world. With over 20 years experience working as a hairstylist, Anne-Marie now coaches other hairstylists like you to take control of their marketing strategy so that you can attract the clients that you always dreamed of, so that your hairstyling business can run in a smooth way. For over 6 years as a coach for hairstylists, Anne-Marie has guided hairstylists to transform their lives and business through her programs and books. So we're going to bring our guest up here. So hi, Anne-Marie.
Hi.
So great to have you on the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. So if we just want to start off, can you kind of introduce yourself and give us a little bit about your background?
So thank you for having me. It's super exciting to be here. So my background is I've been working as a hairstylist for over 26 years. It feels a bit ick in my stomach when I say that aloud because have I gotten that old? I don't know. I don't feel like it anyway. Because the time flies so fast, it just feels like overwhelming when you talk about it. And from the very beginning, I trained as a hairstylist, but very, very early, I got allergic to color and all the chemicals in the salon. And I started to get all of these like huge rashes on my hands. And I was working a lot also with doing braids and hair extensions. And I was like, should I quit should I get a real job like everyone is telling you when you're young and like a hairstylist, you're not really doing a regular job? Or should I maybe move to a salon suite, only work with this, like doing hair extensions, removing all the chemicals and so on out of the way? And I decided that was the path, the first step that I took in order to see, like, is there a change for me? Like, will I feel better? Because I had constant rashes, asthma, and so on, and I got really sick from it. And working by myself and reducing the chemicals actually helped me feel much, much better. And I really got into marketing. I got into like, how can you take beautiful photos of your work? Back then, you were not using video as much as at all because you weren't capable with the cameras and so on back then. But I really learned how to build my own brand and get people to come to me. And I started having people traveling from all over the world to come to me just to do their hair. I even had people fly like all the way from Australia, all the way from America to Sweden to get their hair done. And all of them said, like, I am coming to you because I feel a connection with you and I trust you and it feels right. I can't find anyone else. And that is a true testament to building your own personal brand around you that you use both when you're in the salon and I talk about the internet as your digital storefront and creating a powerful brand and putting that all over the digital world and also embody that in the salon can really make you thrive. And that is also what I teach. Because I truly believe that every hairstylist have their own unique client And if you just start to understand this and the basics of building your own brand, finding your own voice, then you will be able to really help people in a true empowering way, because you will really help the people that you're meant to help.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. I mean, when people will travel, let's say it is like being a testament. I had clients that would travel 4 hours one way, so 8 hours just driving to get their to get their hair done. But that's the big thing. People have so much stress now around social media. So do you mind if we kind of dive into that a little bit? So why do you think so many entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed by social media?
Number one, I don't think that a lot of people are aware of how what we see on social media actually affects us on the personal level, and what happens when we are absorbing so much information all the time. And I have had to set rules because I get stuck in the scroll every single
Mm-hmm.
day. And I set rules for myself that I have to do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before I can actually use social media um, to find information for different things and so on. And I think that if we don't start to filter the kind of messages and information that we are absorbing every single day, then that can take over your life. Because even if you see an image or a video, that can have an impact on you personally. Even if it just happens subconsciously, it actually is telling you a story. And maybe you start to get stressed and fear around something, but you don't really know why. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe it is that someone has been saying something on the news or on social media, or someone has written a caption about something that you have just scrolled by. But everything that we look at and witness sends out a type of energy. So if you're not, or if you're brand new to this, it actually can have a true impact on you. So if you know that some people are triggering to you, please unfollow them and clear out your feed.
Mm-hmm.
Your social media feed should just be things that light you up and make you happy and make you inspired. If you get stressed by some family members or some clients, what they are showing, just mute them, or you maybe don't unfollow them, because then they might be offended.
Mm-hmm.
But you can pause people as well. Just they won't know, but so that you are not absorbing if it is
Mm-hmm.
something that stresses you out. Um, and one of the things that I had to remove from my phone was any type of notifications, because I realized that um, every time the phone flashed from something, a notification or something is going on. And if you have a big social media following and maybe you get like 100 likes within 1 hour,
Mm-hmm.
and the phone goes bling 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 bling, uh, that there is something happening in your nervous system that stresses you out. um, and I want to say that even as entrepreneurs, if we are using social media to market ourselves, it is actually okay to have designated times in our schedules when you are posting, when you're being on social media, and when you're responding to things. And that could be maybe half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening, or maybe half an hour per day. But it's actually okay to then go on with your life. You don't have to be constantly on social media 24 hours to be able to be a sought after hairstylist. You can actually have space in between before you respond. And when it comes to your clients, you can actually train them to say like, hey, decide on one place where they are allowed to communicate with you around when or where it is that they are communicating with you. Because when a client freaks out about something, I promise you, they will reach out to you in all the different places that you are on in the digital world. And that could become overwhelming when you start to having these messages all over the place. So I'm all about training. Decide on one place where they are allowed to reach out to you regarding their bookings, regarding blah, 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 blah. And respond only in that place, and then have a saved message that you have on your phone or your computer where you can just copy and paste. And if they are sending you a message on some other platform, just paste that on that message to send them to the right place. And by training them, that also eliminates stress for you. So we need to figure out, what is it that is stressful for me? What happens to me when I absorb all of this information? And how can I streamline everything that I do so it becomes easier and not overwhelming? And we don't have to be there 24/7.
No,
Because people
exactly.
think that we should be. And I know younger people, they're sleeping with their phones now and so on. And I am the person that I take long walks and I don't even bring my phone anymore, because I don't want to have that constant idea that people can reach me, because I need some downtime in order for me to be the best that I possibly can.
And those are great. Those are great mindset shifts to help reduce social media anxiety, because so many people think I have to be on all the time. If I set boundaries, they're not going to like me. They're going to unfollow me. I'm a hairstylist, but for me, I get so many hairstylists wanting me to follow and like their page. Number one, I'm probably personally don't live in your area. I'm not going to go to you if I'm a hairstylist myself. Like, you really, I think, have to know your market, know your people. But you're right with the boundaries and having one platform, because then you're going. If you're already in anxiety and you're already freaking out, and sometimes social media can be the most antisocial. Because basically, like you said, there's all these things in the feed. People are just posting at random. They're not posting mindfully. They're just doing like anybody, and anybody who wants to follow them, they're like, oh yeah, look at all my followers I have. If you have 10,000 followers and 3 likes on a post, you know, your engagement is down, because obviously most of these platforms want engagement. But as a business owner or entrepreneur, can they create a social media strategy that feels effortless? So can they have like a system that they say, okay, this, like I know there's a lot of platforms like Hootsuite and different ones like that that will automatically post for you. Do you believe in doing that kind of stuff, or just having, say, I answer my emails from 9 till 10 every morning, and if it comes in after that, I get to you the next day? Or do you think you should have things that you want, or create like a series? Like, what would be the best way to do social media that doesn't feel stressful?
Well, for me, for one thing that I teach my students is to have a content creation system. Because nowadays, if you're not showing up on social media, new potential clients will judge you if you're not updating your feed. And that's just a fact. We have to see our feeds on whatever platforms that you're using as a portfolio and as a way for people to connect with you and build that trust and start to have a conversation with you. So what I recommend is to make room in your schedule. And I know that a lot of hairstylists will freak out when I say this because they want to make money and pack clients back to back to back. But I'm all about finding between 10 and 15 minutes between each and every client so that you actually have room to create photos and videos, both before and after with your clients, and so that it's not stressful. Because if you have that next client sitting there looking at the watch going like, oh, why is she doing that when I have my appointment? But finding room in your schedule to actually create content. And what I do that helps and what I teach my students is one time every week, look over what kind of clients do you have, what is it that you are doing, and write down notes. Like on Monday, I have Sarah, I'm doing this and that. And think about, okay, maybe I can do this kind of photo or do this video, blah, blah, blah. So you have tiny notes for each and every client. So when before the client arrives, you just look at your notes going, oh, that was what I supposed to do. Then it's easier because you have actually made a plan for yourself. And then what I do is I have one day a week where I create all my reels, I create all my different carousel posts, etc., and write all my captions and so on. But I don't schedule things into a scheduler. I have a designated time every day where I actually go in and post. And this is a test for me to see if that makes a difference in how much, like if it's been the content that I'm actually posting, if it's been seen by more people rather than using a scheduler. I know Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and YouTube have their own scheduling system in the platforms. My recommendation is to use that rather than something external that throws everything out into many different platforms. Because there are some people say that the algorithm might not push that out to as enough people. But this is what I'm testing out right now to see if it's making a difference, and it actually does too. Because what I do is I also go in and interact both before and after I create my posts, and that makes a difference to how many my posts are being showed to. So
Yeah, and that's what I find with myself. Like I find I get more engagement on stories than I do on posts, even if it's the same. So, and I mean, those are good factors too, and to know your numbers and to look into that. And I think most people, they just want to post, but they don't necessarily want to know where their demographic is, what their avatar is, things like that. But
yeah,
you've, I think, just answered this, but do you believe you can be successful in business without being on social media 24/7?
of course.
Go for long walks, leave your phone at home,
Yeah, yeah,
set that time. And those are important things because people, like you say, they think if they miss a notification, they miss a thing. But like you said, that's training their clients or training the people that they're just going to be available whenever we're
yeah,
not drive through.
yeah,
So it's not like they can say, I just need that person now. But then when you go to contact them, it's crickets,
yeah.
and then people expect that you're just going to kind of do it. But what's the most common mistakes people make that cause unnecessary stress?
I think one factor that not a lot of hairstylists actually think about is how they keep on comparing themselves to everyone else. And they get stuck in the comparison rather than looking inward and start to think about, okay, who is my dream client? Who is it that I actually want to have in my chair? In what unique way can I help them? What are my unique solutions? And start to create content around that. Because you are unique, your clients are unique, and I think it's time to stop comparing ourselves with what kind of hair is the hairstylist doing down the street, or what are people doing on the other side of the world, or etc. etc. And also, as you said, talking about that, I know a lot of hairstylists wants other hairstylists to follow them, but the real question here is, are they going to become a client that sits in your chair? And move that towards like, who is it that I really, really want to have in my chair? And just focus on that. The more you can actually understand that person, the easier it will become. And the easiest way to actually do this is, if you have a favorite client that you just love being around, ask if you can do an interview with them. Give them something extra, like a special treatment as a thank you, but interview them about what is important to them. How do they feel when they sit in your chair? What is special about your relationship with that client? And how can they explain that to you? The more you get an understanding of that and can start to share that in your content, then you're already one step ahead, because you are priming your future clients and get a feeling of what it is to sit in your chair. And that's really what we want to do, because then when they meet you for the first time, they will just go like, they will feel comfortable. They will feel like they already know you. So they will open up so much faster. And in that way, it will be so much easier for you to make them happy with their hair, so that they will come back for another appointment, and they will also help promoting you because they're so happy with your work. And this is the client flow that we want to look at, because we want to have all of those long-term clients that we really like and enjoy, because the more we have those, the easier it will become, and we don't have to hunt all the time for new clients.
Well, and I think you'll find your clients, and the biggest thing to attract the right clients, or your your vibe is your tribe sort of thing. So it's being your authentic self. And I think too, if you're not presenting yourself authentically, then you're not going to get the people. Like if you're showing other people's work that's not really yours, and that's stuff that you can't do, and it's not the clients that you want. Like obviously, if you love doing roller sets and you like a geriatric clientele, don't be putting on all these fashion colors and, you know, things that are not really who you are. So I think we've kind of touched on this already, but how can someone maintain authenticity while also being strategic on social media?
I think that's going back to really understanding who are you and what it is that makes you unique, and what are the touch points that you like. What are the stories that you tell your clients that makes them really connect with you when they're sitting in your chair? Those kind of things are things that you can share on social media as well. What is it that makes you unique? And you everyone has their own story. We have lived unique lives, and I think the more we can start to share, you don't have to share your whole life, but pieces of your life, so that people can connect with you. But if you only like post photos and then you put like brown hair, there's no way for someone to connect with you. Or I see some hairstylists like the only caption they write is like book an appointment with you. But why should they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone can learn how to do hair like you do, but other hairstylists cannot learn how to be you. You are unique. And that is, I think, what we have to hone in on and that people are longing for. And I think that after the pandemic, it is interesting because isolation has become normal. I see that with so many people that they are not as social as they used to be. So the time that you are going to the hairdresser or doing things when you're actually in a room with someone that maybe is not your family or closest friends, that has become more and more special nowadays. So new clients demands a deeper connection with you because they are longing for that as well.
Mm-hmm. And that happens, you're right, that happens even before they see you in person.
Yeah,
So your online persona, who you are, how you captivate, how you story tell, how you connect, how you embrace, how you invite. And like you said, book now. Like, unless you're ready to book, it doesn't
yeah,
really mean, like you said, what's the why behind that? Why
yeah,
do I need to? You know, what's in it for me? Why should I go there when there's 10 salons on the block and they all do highlights, they all do haircuts, they all do the same thing that you do? I mean, maybe the only difference is price,
yeah.
but yeah, what's the difference that they need to be there with you? But some people are so afraid to go on social media. They're shy, they're introverted. So that's one thing I'd like to kind of dive into now is like thriving as a introverted entrepreneur. Like, you know, so what unique challenges do introverted entrepreneurs face in business?
So I am super introverted. I even have had, I think it's funny because um, one of my husband's friend's friend
Mm-hmm.
had seen a lot of videos on me on social media, and he had seen somewhere that I said I was super introverted, and he actually started about this when he met me the first time because he could not even grasp the
Mm-hmm.
idea that I am shy, I am super introverted, I feel awkward in big crowds when I don't know anyone. Um, and I have had to learn how to be social. I have, and I think one of the reasons why I actually started to do hair is because I felt so awkward meeting new people all the time. And working with hair actually forced me to say hello to
Mm-hmm.
people
Yes.
and make them comfortable with me. And that made me grow so, so, so much as a
Mm-hmm.
person. And one of the things I think that is not talked about enough in the beauty industry at all is uh, all people that are working in the service industry, taking care of other people, we
Mm-hmm.
need to take care of ourselves and really get to know like what kind of environment do you need to have in order for you to be able to do the best work as possible. I understood when I moved away from working in a big salon to working in my own salon was that I actually needed to be by myself with my clients. And I needed to be able to say no to my clients when they wanted to bring their friends or they wanted to bring their partners, etc., etc., because I have the energy to be able to focus on my client and do the hair that I'm going to do for them. And I can make them super comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have someone that they bring that is questioning like, oh, how long is this going to take? Is it going to really look like that? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, all
uh,
kinds of questions, and they're
yeah,
uncertain, and you still have to build that rapport with that person
yeah,
because you don't know them. And
yeah,
and two, I think some people don't really get that for some of us as stylists, it really takes all our energy just to
yeah,
focus on that
yeah,
client 100% when they're in. And if you just happen to bring, oh, you don't mind
yeah.
doing this person while I'm under the dryer,
Mm.
or you know what I mean, but then they kind of just expect that you're going to say yes rather than, and for some people they may just seize up, or like, okay, I geared myself mentally to do this person that
Yeah.
energetically and stuff like that. But it's also knowing your strengths. How can introverts leverage their strengths to succeed in networking and sales?
I believe nowadays is to truly communicate what it is that you need and who you are. And if you are an introvert and if you are shy like me, that is something as a hairstylist you can talk about on social media, because your people will understand that. Your people will feel like, oh, wow, that person really understands me. Um, and I see nowadays that the clients that I have, they truly enjoy that I don't allow anyone else
Mm-hmm.
except them to my space, because they want to have that time with me.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel that it's nice, that it's calm, and etc. etc. And if you don't understand yourself what it is that you need to be able to perform in the best way possible, start to figure that out. And I know that every hairstylist have a different limit on like how many hours can you work, how much space do you need between your clients. Maybe you need to have like a lunch hour where you actually go out and take a walk
Mm-hmm.
and come back to be able to fill yourself up. And also question, when you leave the salon in the evening or whenever you close, um, what do you need in your spare time in order for you to be able to come back to the salon again without either in affecting your clients or affecting your personal life and the people that you live with, or your
Mm-hmm.
friends, family members, etc., etc. And the more you get an understanding of that, the easier it will become for you. And I want to say that it's normal to be drained by being around people, and it's also normal to be filled with energy if you're an extroverted to be around people.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is different, and the more you can get an understanding of what you need, the easier it will become for you.
Exactly. And those are excellent points, like that are helping introverts recharge while running a business.
Yeah.
And how can introverts confidently market themselves without feeling drained? Do you say by implementing those things or having the strategy, or kind of what we talked about earlier? Like, say, I'm going to devote this amount of time on this day for 1 hour. Is that an easier way to keep them from feeling drained? I think, too, because they're so shy or so introverted, sometimes that's a big hurdle for them, or
Yeah.
that's a big to put themselves out there sort of thing. Um,
uh, One thing that I can say, that I was very, very uncomfortable speaking on video, and I know that if someone is watching this video, they will go like, "What? Why? I don't see
yes.
that." I actually cried for half an hour before I recorded my ever first YouTube video because I was so scared.
Hmm.
And a coach actually said to me, he's like, "So Anne-Marie, what is it that you're afraid of?" He's like, "Are you afraid that someone will like punch you through the screen, or like what is it?" um and I think I had some issues from being a kid that I just had to jump over, and I think I also had some trauma from school when you had to do a presentation and it didn't work out, and all of that. But what I realized was that talking on camera actually helped me reach more of my dream clients. And it's also have helped me reach students that wants to learn all of this. And when they let me know like how what I have done, like all of these videos and podcasts and trainings and retreats, how it has impacted them, then I have realized that that is so much more important for me to show up. And it is in the showing up, like doing something over and over and over and over again, that actually makes something that you might be afraid of to become the new normal for you. And if someone wants to be more on video, speak about things, to connect with your dream clients, like you can do, like to train yourself is either show up on stories, record small snippets when you are speaking into the camera, and they just stay there for 24 hours. And then they go away. But another thing that if you want to really push your limit is to actually start to do live streams, because then you just have to show up and you have to go with it, and you don't have time to be afraid because you have to speak, otherwise nothing will happen in the video and you can't edit it out. So I think getting used to being on camera, the easiest way is just start to do live streams and have like bullet points, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't write out everything you should say, just have the bullet points. Think about that your favorite client is on the other end and you're speaking to that person, and you will notice after a while how these videos will have an impact.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think that's why too people are afraid to or don't show up because they feel inauthentic.
Yeah.
So and you've kind of already answered the next thing I was going to come up with. So like the advice, like to give an introvert struggling with imposter syndrome. So I think too, by taking those steps and just getting out there, just doing that, I think then too, you kind of discover things about yourself because you don't really know what you know, I think, until you tell them to other people.
Yeah.
And they're like, I never knew that, or that came, or as I say, because you have everything so scripted, it's going to sound like you're just reading from a script. But if you have bullet points, you're like, okay, I want to cover this, I want to cover this. And the more you do, even if it's like a 1 minute video every day, and then you expand, here's my live, here's what's going on today, here's what I'm all about, hey, here's a new, whatever it might be. And that's how people kind of get to know you as well. Do you find a lot of your students come in with imposter syndrome or have some element of it, or
I think
they just want to elevate where they're at?
I think
currently?
A lot of people have that one part where they actually feel that, yes. And I think it's more about getting an understanding of what is your unique way that you can help your dream clients that could truly help you, and start to speak to that, because you know so much about hair that your clients don't. And that is the thing that we have to hone in on and speak about the work that we do so that our clients understand. They have no idea what the brushes are or what the color are or blah, blah, blah. They want to know, like, how can I style my hair and what products should I use? Or what is wrong with my hair? How can I fix that? And speak in that kind of language. And you can do that. And that will truly transform everything for you.
Exactly, because you could be the best stylist in the world, but if you're going on above their head with your conversations, and if they want to know what type of, is this a bristle brush? Is it a boar hair brush? Is it a,
Yes.
sometimes they some want to know but some don't, or say because of your hair type this would be, but you're doing it as a tool in your belt to help them, not just, well, there's this you're spewing out all these facts and information, but the client themselves, they don't care. They're like,
No.
what shampoo do I need?
Yes.
Can I wake up and it's going to look exactly like this? And
Yeah.
that's why when you're kind of out there on social media and you're just saying, I want to get everyone welcome, everybody come in, whoever you are, come on in, but then that happens to then drain you. So the kind of last topic I want to get into is how do we move away from draining client relationships? So because we want authentic relationships, but then now being inauthentic or just getting anybody, but what are some red flags that indicate a client relationship is becoming draining?
So I think the first thing is to start to witness how you're feeling. If you come home and you are irritated, you're complaining about a certain client, you're saying like, I can't believe this person did that, blah, 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 blah. That is like your first warning sign. And the second step is to actually start to see, hey, is there a boundary that this client has overstepped? Is there something where this person maybe has taken me for granted? And question, have you communicated a certain boundary with them? If not, then that is something that maybe you should start to look at and see, how can I communicate my boundaries more clear, more efficiently? I, for instance, have text messages going out to all my clients 24 hours before their appointment. And I actually have a video linked in that text message with all the rules and the expect, like what they can expect from me. And I talk about that. If you come early, maybe I won't be able to help you earlier. You have to ask me if it is okay to come into the salon early and wait. Otherwise, that other client might become stressed, because it is a fact that some clients, if they come half an hour early and they sit and wait, in their mind, they think that they have been waiting for their appointment for half an hour, but they came early. So if you go like 5 minutes or 10 minutes late, then they're like, oh, I've been waiting for 40 minutes. No, it's not, you were early, etc. And that could set up for catastrophe with a client. So I have this video explaining that they should come alone, when they like, when I will open for them, etc., etc., etc. And I've noticed that this video is something that when I have a first-time client, they are happy and they say thank you, because you made it so clear what kind of rules you have in your salon, and I totally understand you. And that is something that I would say like every hairstylist should do, because it's easier for someone to actually watch a video than look at text nowadays. And also get an understanding of what maybe you have evolved and changed over time. Maybe you need to start to do things in a different way. So my recommendation is to maybe every 6 months have like maybe 2 hours where you actually sit down and you question, how is everything working in your business? Is there things that are draining you? Are there people that are draining you? And why are they draining you? And how can you either change the situation, or how can you maybe remove that person from your life? And this is both in business and in your private life.
Hmm. I
And
love the
checking
idea.
in
Yeah.
regularly, doing this every 6 months will truly help you to get an understanding what you need, because we all, things happen in our lives. We need certain things in different times in our lives. And if we just take ourselves for granted, of course, maybe at one point you will become burnt out because of you're not aware of what you need yourself.
Hmm. Exactly. I love the idea of, sending out a video, like, and
Yeah,
especially for new clients, so they know your boundaries, they know expectations, that sort of thing. Before they even come in, they know how is this, if it's something that really bothers you, if a client always comes 5 minutes late or like that, how it kind of, you still want to do it in a positive light, but then there's no misunderstandings.
yeah,
And then if you do come early and your appointment's at this time, we are not able to take you until that time,
yeah,
because it does make somebody who booked on time, came on time, now the next person's already there and you're not behind, you're
yeah,
actually still on time. And then they're coughing, making noises at the
yeah.
front, trying to get your attention. Look, I'm here. And you can't have them washed half an hour early and have them sit there,
No.
like, like that sort of thing. But I think what too, there's a lot of guilt involved too. So why do entrepreneurs often feel guilty about letting go of difficult clients?
I think there is this idea that we should be happy for every single client that we actually have.
Hmm.
But I believe that I am not the right fit for everyone. And I know that the clients that I have now will not be a right fit maybe tomorrow or
Hmm.
the day after, etc. Because we are ever evolving. And I think we have to normalize that it's actually okay that people are changing. You're
Hmm.
not a good fit anymore. And that comes with like friends, etc. as well,
Hmm.
that we're not always a good match. And that should be okay. Some people are there for a certain amount of time in your life, and then maybe they won't be.
Hmm.
And I think we should maybe remove the the personal, like how it actually affects us.
Hmm.
And by removing someone, a client, you're actually opening up for something new, and that should
Hmm.
be okay.
Yes, exactly. Because we all grow, change, evolve, and we're all in different points in our lives.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, where we are today is different than where we'll be in 5 years. We
Mhm.
won't always be that same person. And if you're not growing or evolving, you're dying. And if you're just
Yeah.
doing, let's say, being in salon behind the chair, doing client after client after client, same thing every day, every year, every, decade, like that sort of thing. But and this is something we I think already covered by like how can professionals set better boundaries to avoid burnout. But like you said, send a video, check in every 6 months. Where are
Yeah.
you at? Is this where you want to be? Does your clientele reflect where you are? When that clientele comes in, are you giving them the best service, or are you just going through the motions? And I
Mhm.
think too, that's to be fair to the client as well. If you're not feeling it, and you're just there and they're a dollar sign and not an individual, then you kind of have to reassess, sort of thing. Do you
Yeah.
have any kind of strategies that can help transition out of a toxic client relationship gracefully? Like a lot of them talk about firing your client. Do you sit down and have a conversation with them? Do you just say, I don't have any appointments available? Do you, you know?
So one thing that I actually did is um, how do I explain this? So I had a client.
Hmm.
She was sitting in my chair, and she knows a bit about my story.
Hmm.
So my mother's from Poland. Um, we have had family members who were in Auschwitz. So anytime when someone has like racist issue, blah 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 blah. I take that personally because of the history and everything that's going on in my family in generations ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this client, she was super excited because she had joined a racist political party in Sweden, and she has become their secretary. And I said to her, like, sorry, but um, I cannot discuss this anymore because I won't have a discussion about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I will finish your hair, but while I'm doing your hair, I won't speak to you anymore. Because she wanted to fuel a conversation about why her life was what it was like
Mm-hmm.
because of foreign people.
Yeah,
like so.
and two,
And
if
I
you're
just
gonna,
said that I'm not going there.
nope.
And when I finished her hair, I said that I recommend that you find someone else to do your hair
Mm-hmm.
because apparently our political views are not aligning, and it's nothing that I can't discuss with you.
No, and any
Uh,
any stylist doesn't want to be constantly triggered by a
no,
client or even people in your personal life.
yeah,
Like those should be removed as well,
yeah,
or just part ways, because if somebody knows you, they're not going to stir the pot. They're not
no.
going to, if they know that something's a trigger for you, don't bring it up. Which kind of brings us to how can business owners attract and retain dream clients instead?
So first of all, knowing who you don't want to have, and
Mm-hmm.
actually also there to have conversations or let people know, like, hey, we're not a good fit. If someone is not happy with their hair, let them know that then maybe you should find someone else that can be a better fit for you. And then actually start to, as I was talking about earlier, understanding who it is that you want to attract into your chair, and really figure out what is going on in their heads. What are they saying to themselves in order for them, like, they have all of these ideas about their hair. How can you get an understanding of what those thoughts and ideas are so that you can start to speak towards that? Because then they will feel like, oh my God, she's in my head. She knows what I'm saying. She knows, etc., etc., etc. And that builds a connection. And that
Mm-hmm.
is something that will make people reach out to you. If you call out their struggles, if you call out what they're thinking and worrying about.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, you can truly help them on a deep level, because when we make people feel comfortable with their hair, their whole life can transform.
Exactly.
Uh,
And this kind of like as we're kind of wrapping up a little bit, I think this is to reaffirm some things you already said. What mindset shifts are necessary to prioritize your well-being over
yeah.
revenue? Because somebody thinks I have to take every single person. I need the money, but
Mm.
I'm drained. I'm burnt out. I'm, like all this kind of stuff. I think with what you said before is really setting those boundaries, or if you have a lack of boundaries, maybe that's why some of these things are happening,
Yeah.
why you're getting
Yeah.
burnt out, why
Yeah.
you're getting wrong clientele, why you're unable to recharge, why you're,
Mm.
you can't, you can still be successful and not have to be on social media 24/7. You can still walk away from your salon on your lunch break, leave your phone
Yeah.
at the shop, in your purse, at the office, at home. Even I do that whenever I go out for walks at home.
Mm.
I don't bring my phone with me.
Mm.
I figure if people want to get a hold of me, they will, because way back when, like when we had phones before answering machines,
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh great, let's get an answering machine. And
Yeah.
then they're like, they got excited when they saw the little light flashing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a message. And
Yeah.
then after a while it was like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to call somebody back now.
Yeah.
So it's the things you kind of get excited for, and now that they're to make your life easier, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they don't always sort of thing. So is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with our audience?
No, I think just try to dare to witness yourself and just feel what do I need? What kind of clients do I want at this moment? Who is it that I maybe want to remove? Because the more we become aware of how we are, the easier it will become to actually enjoy life. And I mean, you're supposed to enjoy when you're working. You're supposed to enjoy the time outside of your salon, etc. And it's only you that can make changes in order for you to like enjoy your life better or the work that you're doing, etc., etc. And it's up to you. No one will hand anything on the gold platter to you. It's up to you to make changes if there is something that you feel is off.
And we all need healing. We all need balance. We all need, but there's also people we look up to. Would there be anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
Not that I can think of now. I'm like,
because everybody's equal and everybody's important, and they all, you don't favor any one person over another. So if people want to connect with you, where can they connect with you? Where's the best place to find you, to follow you, to if they have questions or they want to learn more about your books, your courses, your mentorship?
Yeah, so you can find me over at Instagram at Serene Flow _. I also have a bunch of free guides over at my website at serene-flow.com. And I also have a podcast, the Sustainable Hairstylist podcast, where you can listen to a bunch of episodes where I talk about all of this stuff that I'm talking about here.
I know, I've already been listening. So I've already gone on Spotify. I checked out some of your episodes and things like that. So I want to say thank you. If you have, which you've already given already, because I think we're in alignment, you kind of answer the questions before I ask them. But do you have one last nugget of gold or message you would like to leave our audience?
Yeah, it's actually okay to set up boundaries. Because that is something I think that we don't really talk about enough. So it's healthy to set boundaries so that you can feel better.
Amazing. So I want to say thank you, Anne-Marie, for coming on today. There was so much great, the time just flew. Time just flew.
Having me.
Time just flew. Today's episode has been brought to you by Beauty Industry Cruises, powerful education and beautiful destinations. You're invited to join the upcoming Trichology-inspired cruise in Greece, pricing includes your cabin, your basic beverages, Wi-Fi tips, 20 plus eateries, group workouts, and entertainment. So it's going on June 8th to 15th, 2025. It's adults only, so 18 plus, on Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady. All cabins are booked through myself at Expedia Cruises. And let's have a quick look. So this is a great way where you can leave your phone at home, leave it in your cabin, say, hey, let's kind of explore something new. Because I think whenever you're in a different destination, you also have it changes your mindset when you're away from your situation, the people, like that sort of thing. One other one we also are doing, which in alignment kind of with today's show, coming January 2026, we have our health and wellness cruise, the Green Holistic Community Cruise, a traditional transformational voyage for beauty pros, salons, and educators. So join a like-minded community of beauty professionals, salon owners, educators for a one-of-a-kind journey that blends wellness, sustainability, and success. The Green Holistic Community Cruise is designed to nourish every part of your life, mind, body, business, and planet by focusing on spirituality, nutrition, exercise, stress mastery, relationships, finances, work, play, health, and self-care. So that's it. It's kind of, if you look at the wheel of life, we're kind of balancing all the wheel of life. We'll take a quick look at that. I think there's a shift now coming with health and wellness, and people really want to, and I think it's in alignment with Anne-Marie as well, with setting boundaries, reconnecting with nature, with that healing that we all need. I think a lot of people need to heal or don't know they need to heal. And I think it's the same with social media. I think it can be therapy for some people by sharing your stories, sharing your stuff, where you can be authentic and relatable to people, or you can, as I say, there's great with innovations and all AI and all that kind of stuff. But I think, too, a lot of that can be, sure, it's nice to have all the pictures and all that, but does that really show who you really are? Is that attracting the right clients that you want in your salon? I'm like Anne-Marie, where I do one client at a time. I don't double book. I don't triple book. I don't care for that high energy, gossipy, and then all the assistants are doing like everything, that sort of thing. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining on today's show. If you have an idea for the show or would like to be a guest, you can email us at hairstylistempowermentpodcast@outlook.com. So remember to get up, dress up, show up wonderfully and powerfully, and I'll see you next time. Think and record end.